so we're here in Dubuque. We're gonna bid this parking lot, 101.1, The River FM. And I'm gonna go over it, take a look at it, as you can see there, and give it an estimate. And then I'm going to answer the age-old question that I keep getting of how do you estimate for seal coating, right? And that's a heavy question, so let's get into it. All right, so some things you have to take into consideration when you're estimating. How cracked up is it, right? See one there? There's not that many, honestly. So that's gonna drive our overall price down because we're not gonna use much crack filler. When I bid for seal coating and crack filling, I include it all in one price. I don't separate those out or itemize them. Unless they ask for one separate thing, then we'll itemize that separate thing. But when it's together, we try to put it together. Even line striping, I'll just do a commercial minimum as this would fit in and add that as a separate line item. But it's all gonna be one bid at the end. So the other thing is, how dirty is it, right? If this was super, super dirty, it's gonna take more labor to get it clean. It's gonna take more time, obviously, more effort, more gas. And then, you know, if this was a new parking lot, we'd be doing new layout when it comes to striping. Seal coating, how much is it gonna take? It's kind of a smoother surface, still has some sealer there. Obviously there's a lot of trim work around the cement that plays into effect as well. So I'll get back in the truck and get out of the wind and kind of explain those things to you.
All right, so I apologize. This one has to be done by going down the road, so the camera's gonna shake and whatever. If you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, don't watch. So we're busy, so I can't spend time in one place right now because we are so busy. So that's why I'm gonna record it like this. When we talk about estimating, there were times when I can't believe I would even think about this, but there were times when just me by myself, I would do projects for 10 cents a square foot. I don't know how I ever thought I was going to build a business and scale a business in my lifetime at that price. Now, if I just wanted to make $100, a couple $100 maybe, then fine, you know, fine. I'd make it that day. Here in Wisconsin, you really don't get full weeks of sunshine until July. So there really wasn't enough days in our season as a seal coater to make that click. And I didn't believe that I could get a higher price. Slowly as time went on, I would increase and try to get a higher price, and we did. And sometimes we wouldn't. We would actually just lose the job because I was too high on prices. So I kind of found that happy medium, and I tried to stay on the high end of that for a while. Especially when selling the jobs, I would promote every good reason to choose us, because ultimately my competition was making blacktop black just like I was, filling cracks just like I was. There had to be a differentiator, right? We can go into that on a different video about how to add your value to your estimated price, but we'll just stick to how I evaluate right now what we want to get per square foot. So right now, I really would have a very hard time even accepting any kind of a project under 20 cents a square foot. Right now we pay $2.65 a gallon for sealer, all-time high. The most of an increase I'd ever seen in my years of doing this. So I know that I'm going to have to increase my price as well. Find out the percentage of your sealer increase, and if you're already estimating, increase your price by that percentage. If you've had some held over and you're going to honor that over the winter, kudos. We're doing that too, just because we want our brand and reputation to stay stellar. Now, my recommendation to guys who ask me this question all the time, what do you charge per square foot and how do you bid, right? Find out what the very least amount you would be happy doing a project is, okay? And then find out what you think the absolute most that you could get somebody to pay to get their asphalt seal coated, crack filled, line striped, whatever. Now listen, there are jobs where they're way too far gone, they need repaved. tell the people they need repaved, right? Tell your customer they need repaved, and that's what you recommend. There are times where people say, yeah, but we just want it done what you guys do. We will estimate it and do it, because if not, somebody else is going to. I'm in this to be the best, right? And not give my competition work if I can help it. But be completely transparent and let them know. Now, on that project, you should be getting the maximum amount per square foot. If that is your goal, is to create the most bang for your buck and your value. Now, if you're looking to help somebody out and make it look good for them, I understand that, but that should not be your business mindset when it comes to seal coating. So what I try to do is think about pavement on a different scale, right? One would be completely clean pavement, 2 or 3 years old, only needs a seal coat. I'm going to charge the very lowest that I would be happy charging for that job, all the way up to that ugly one we were just talking about, the maximum that I would want to charge. Our scale right now at Wiscoat is from, and I really don't want to charge 20 cents, but I'm okay with it. If it's completely just no crack filling, clean pavement, we just get there, trim out, spray it, and leave. I'm okay with that. As long as it's over our minimum, you should be charging a minimum. Ours is $550. It's probably going to be $600 this year with the price increase of everything, just to cover our tails. Now, there's steps along that way, right? So it goes from one that's completely bare to one that's got a few cracks and a little dirty. Then your cents per square foot need to go up, because you're going to be spending more material and more time and labor cleaning it. Now, there are also ones where the driveway is completely edged with decorative rock. You probably are going to have to trim those edges, right? Whether it's a trim board or whatever, it's going to take more time, right? Now, as those areas increase with cracks and dirt and roughness, you should be increasing your price per square foot. So, for what we do, I like to be anywhere between, especially now, if we're 25 cents a square foot, I'm happy. Now, if it's a filthy bugger, like we were talking about at the beginning, I would be upset if it was 25 cents a square foot. I wouldn't feel like we would be getting enough, because of the time that we would be having to put into it and the amount of material that we would be having to put into it. So you need to adjust as that goes up. The way that I have done it, there's no science to it. There's no specifics to it. I just know that as the more work that it would take and the more material it would take on the project, the higher price per square foot I'm going to have to charge. I don't always get the jobs. I understand that. I'm high on some of them. But one thing I can promise you is I'm never too low for myself. So there's that. And we work all the time. So I don't want to bid price against people and that be my goal. I don't want to win it because we're the cheapest. I don't want that. I want to win it because we bring the most value to the table. It wasn't always like that. It is now. So that's why we bid the way we do. But if you're just starting out, you should be bidding it in that same general sense too. You know, if it's perfectly clean, you're okay with X amount of dollars doing it, that should be your base. As you go up, increase that price. You should not just have a set price of 22 cents a square foot, no matter what the pavement is. No matter if you're there 5 hours cleaning it or you're there 1 hour cleaning it. You should not have the same price for both of those projects. That should go up. Now, there are people that do job costing extremely well. We do job costing as well, but it's not super specific, okay? There are guys that are really good at it. A couple real good friends I have, and I envy them for that, because then they know that they can charge whatever and make exactly what they want to make. I still don't believe anybody can get it down completely to the penny, to the dollar, maybe within even the $50 or the $100 range. Maybe on driveways and things you can for sure, but not on commercial projects. But you don't really have to, as long as you know that you're making around X amount and you're happy with that, right? So that's how we do it. That's how I bid. I wish there was a scientific formula and I could tell you that, but honestly, it just comes with experience. You know, and as we've increased our value in our brand and we are becoming the clear leader where we are, I believe people should pay us more for what we do, because we bring far more to the table than just putting sealer down and making blacktop black and filling some cracks, and you know, that's it. We bring a lot more to that. There's a lot more goes into our brand and our value that is reflected in our price per square foot and our estimate prices. So that's kind of how I bid seal coating and crack filling. I'm sure, you know, you could ask me about line striping things too on these projects. We have a minimum for line striping. If it's big, I don't want to line stripe it. I would much rather just have the guys on another project seal coating and crack filling, and then we can sub it out, and if we make some on it, great. If we don't, that's fine too. Whatever. When it comes to line striping, maybe we should have somebody in here make a video for the banter and specifically tell us about line striping in the same realm that I'm talking about seal coating. So that's where I'm at on it. If you have questions on that, please, you can feel free to DM me. I hope this answered a lot of questions. I realize it might not have. Sorry, I had a call. I realize it might not have. If it didn't, DM me. Peace.